Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. We're back again for some more news, stooge, and this time maybe a rant as we talk about changes to alchemy that has been done by Wizards of the Coast 2 Arena with their new release of the alchemy set and a card they probably should change but are just too scared to. And why? So, before we get started, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and in the description below, there's links to the TCG Player Store, eBay, my Patreon. We're on Rumble. Check us out there if that's what you're into. And last but not least, let's take a look at this atrocity. Let's take a look at this shit show. Whoops, I'm not a minute in yet. Well, that's gonna get demonetized. Oh well. Try harder next time. Let's take a look at this arena thing. So, start off with, we'll give a quick congratulations here to Shinya Sato for winning the fourth arena championship. Props to him being able to put up with this crapshoot and just travesty of a thing and be able to win something actually in it. Since arena is actually like Magic, but not. So, congratulations, dude. Next, moving on, we have Eldraine, Blow the Competition Away, Alchemy Limited, October 10th through the 16th. So, you're probably already seeing this if you haven't noticed the change yet. This video probably got delayed a couple times because of the Amazon Amazon dump, blowout, crapshoot, diarrhea. Anyway, so here are the major changes. I'm not going to go over a whole lot of stuff. There's tons of events and everything, but a lot of people don't really play Arena, and it's just dumb. But I'd like to comment on this to kind of give you guys the thought process of the people in Magic and what they would do to the card game. God forbid they ever got the chance to, which let's hope that they don't, because their idea of fixing something is, well, kind of like feeding a dog chocolate to keep it quiet. That's not what it does. So, we'll just start off with, first card that they changed was Orcish Bowmasters. It loses its uh, enter the battlefield ability, which is now it's only a 1 and a 1, or 1 black and 1 for a 1/1 flash creature that when the opponent draws an extra card, outside their draw steps, it does 1 damage to any target, and you amass 1 orcs. Now, why was this necessary? Well, people didn't like it when it came in. It gave you 2 1/1s, and the 1/1 got bigger. People complained and bitched about this card a lot, and I get it. I really do. However, if you want to adjust this card, there are other cards that are way more egregious than this that should really be addressed. I'm going to name a couple of them. Rhystic Study. This is the one card that punishes Rhystic Study. The extra 1/1 you get is irrelevant when it comes into play. You know what it does do when it comes into play and deal 1 damage? It helps you kill ramp decks and other creatures that need to die that have 1 toughness. There was nothing wrong with this card, and the people who don't like it because it had a balance of power effect that people didn't like because it messed with their overpowered decks. More specifically, Ragavan, and we'll go into that later. But so, is this card still good? Yes, clearly good. Is it overpowered? No. Was it overpowered before? No. And any argument you give me will never tell me that it was. Just end of story. If they wanted to do anything to this card, they should have made it legendary. But even then, it won't fix it because then it becomes a too good of a commander. So, point being, all they did was nerf a card that helped balance the format and make the format more unbalanced. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And I'm mainly referring to Brawl in general, Historic Brawl. But just in general, there's nothing wrong with this card, and this is just stupid. The next card they changed, you'll notice, is the One Ring. It now takes 1 mana to tap it to activate its ability. So, first off, is this too good the way it was? Probably. However, the only place it gave problems were in decks that had combos. And I'm here to tell you one thing. If this is what's making your deck combo off and your opponent lose, they need a better way to interact with your deck because it can't do it by itself. You have to have something else in play with this, and they both cost 4 or more mana. There is not a card that I have seen yet, and maybe I'm wrong, tell me in the comment section, that can combo off with this without you having so many other combo pieces in play that it's not even really a combo. You have to have well, I want to say propaganda, but it's not propaganda. It's damn it. Anyway, it's the artifact for 5 that whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land artifacts. So, does that mean it goes infinite with this? Yes, it does. However, it only goes infinite with this if you have rocks that you can untap with it. So yes, you can get to this faster if you have rocks. Here's the thing. Run removal. Alright, and a lot of people are like, well, you shouldn't have to run removal. Well, hell, if that's the case, we shouldn't have to put creatures in a deck so I don't have to kill them. Like, let's be real here. It's a strategic game for a reason. And the amount of time it takes for you to put 3 or 4 rocks in play, plus put this into play, plus put the 5 mana engine in play, so that you can do the combo. Guess what? Your opponent should have stopped it already, and it's too late for them anyway because they couldn't stop it anyhow. And if you're going to do it to this card, why would you not do it to the other card that's 3 mana, 1 blue and 2, that's a legendary, that you tap for a blue, and it gives you 1 spell. So all you need is 2 mana rocks, that card, and the engine to have an infinite combo forever. This is on top of that. It costs 1 more. I don't see you nerfing the other card and making it cost 2 blue to activate. And 1 mana, if I have 3 mana rocks, this out, and my engine, and I'm casting 1 and 2 mana spells, guess what? I'm going to tap this for 1 mana, use my other 2 to cast a spell, and untap all my stuff. You did not fix the problem. You want to fix it? You should have made it 5 colorless, 6 colorless. Or better yet, maybe you shouldn't have made it. Oh my god. It's just amazing to me how these people think. And you can disagree with me down below. I'm perfectly fine with that. But just hear me out. I mean, come on. We play the game to play the game, right? I mean, show me why it's so bad. And there was a comment section about why it's so bad. And it's the same thing I just talked about. I've gave you my reasons on why this isn't fixing it. If it is that big of an issue, maybe you should just do something else. Hell, if you don't want to fix it or you try to fix, just ban the damn thing. Just be done with it, get rid of it. That way nobody has it. Because there's ways around this, and it just needs to stop, right? If Orcish Bowmasters is so bad, just ban it. Just like the good old days. Take the toys away. Don't rip off one of He-Man's arms. And then, well, it's getting dark quick. Let's not go there. Anyway. So, with that being said, let's talk about the real problem here that I'm having with this whole idea is why are we not banning this fucking atrocity? So, I love Ragavan. I think he's great. But let's look at what this thing does for a second. Alright? 1 red mana. Cheaper than both the spells we just saw. When he hits your opponent, you exile top card of their library, and you get a treasure, mana ramp, every turn. And with that extra, and you can either cast their spell, or it gets exiled permanently, which means now they can't use it either. Or just use it as a mana ramp spell every turn. This is some shit Green's got nothing on. Like, this is insane. Plus, it's a 2-1. What did the Bowmasters do? Kill this thing on a regular. Trust me, I know. That's why I play them. Because in Historic Brawl, this thing is a fucking war crime. Having this as your commander is just absurd. Let's think about it. I get one Orcish Bowmasters that I might draw in my 100 card deck. I have one ring, which I might draw or have to go fetch in my 100 card deck. With this thing, I can play it on turn 1, it gets killed. I play it on turn 3, it gets killed. I play it on turn 5. All right, let's think about that for a minute. At any one of those spell costs, do you think that what this card does and what its power and toughness is if it gets in is worth 1 mana? Definitely. 3 mana? Certainly. 5 mana? Yeah, probably. And here's the kicker to it. The dash ability means that if it's even in exile, all you have to do is wait for 1 more mana. So on turn, if it dies the first time, wait till you get to 4 mana, dash it in so that when they can't block it, and then pick it up. Guess what? Now it costs 2 and 1 again. Ho, ho, ho. This thing is a frickin' atrocity. It's awful in Commander. It's awful in Historic Brawl because we have less ways to deal with it. This thing, if anything, needs banned, restricted, more than anything else they have touched in the last 2 cards. And I'm not going to lie, the ring's annoying. I don't like it, but I've learned to play with it. Orcish Bowmasters, not fond of it, but it's good. Now, it's to the point where it doesn't deal with this on turn 2. So, and think about it too. If you're playing Historic Brawl and you're not going first and you're playing against this, they get a 2/1 that does this on the first turn. If you don't have a removal spell, guess what? I bet you money you lose. Because they're going to start ripping cards off the top of your deck. If they hit your lands, you're screwed. And this hitting you on turn 2 when you lay your 1 land, and let's hope to God it's not untapped. Or let's hope to God it is tapped. Or I hope to God it is untapped. Because if you lay it tapped, after they hit you on turn 2, they're going to lay their second land, not cast your spell, have a treasure for 3 mana to cast any of several stone rain effects to destroy your land. Yes, that happens as well. And that's how this deck operates. Because other than this, it's a bunch of cheap red creatures, stone rains, and removal spells for red that cost 2 to 3 to 4 mana at most. And they start laying planeswalkers. There's tons of ways that this deck gets around all that stuff. This thing is an atrocity. And yes, does the community like it? Of course they do, because it's an overpowered monstrosity. Anyway, and like I said, I like Ragavan. I really do. But at the same time, I recognize its power level and it's warping the format. Because let's take a look at what it is legal and not legal in. So this is legal in Modern, and that's fine. Plenty of good removal in Modern. It is banned in Legacy. Do you know what it takes to get a card banned in Legacy? That is nothing but overpower. Like, let's put it like this. This card is good enough to be legal in Vintage, and it's played there, but gets banned in Legacy because it took over the format. What the hell does that tell you? Now, it's still legal in Commander. It says here banned in Historic, but not Historic Arena. So let's do the math here, guys. How about, since it's banned in Historic, how about you ban it in Brawl 2 while you're at it? And, in Historic here, this is real Historic when you play in Paper. Because that's how powerful it is. Like, so let's not kid ourselves. If we want to play with it, fine. But don't take away our toys or nerf the toys we use to deal with it when you know it's an issue. For the love of God. Well, thanks for watching today, guys. Appreciate it. Listening to my TED Talk and rant. More of a rant than a TED Talk. But anyway, until next time, be kind. Hope to see you guys tomorrow or maybe across from the game table. Later, player.